Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the most prominent myths in history. These are stories that have been told and retold for centuries, but they're not actually true. I'm going to debunk these myths one by one, and hopefully you'll learn something new. 6. Napoleon wasn't that short. One of the most famous myths about history is that Napoleon was short. This myth is actually based on British propaganda. In the early 19th century, Britain and France were at war, and the British wanted to make Napoleon look weak and insignificant. So they started spreading the rumor that he was only 5 feet tall. The truth is, Napoleon was actually about average height for a man of his time. He was probably around 5 feet 5 inches tall. So the next time you hear someone say that Napoleon was short, you can tell them that they've been duped by British propaganda. 5. The United States flag has 13 stripes, but there were only 12 colonies. The United States flag has 13 stripes, but did you know that there were only 12 colonies at the time? That's because Delaware was a part of Pennsylvania until 1776. Delaware was the first state to ratify the Constitution, so it's not like they were slackers. They just took their time joining the rebellion. The next time you see the flag, remember that it's a reminder of Delaware's unique place in American history. 4. People have known the world was round for 2,500 years. Another common myth is that Christopher Columbus proved that the world was round. This is also not true. In fact, people have known the world was round for thousands of years. The ancient Greeks knew the world was round, and they even calculated its circumference fairly accurately. Columbus did not set out to prove that the world was round. He set out to find a new route to India. He believed that the world was smaller than it actually is, and he thought that he could reach India by sailing west. Columbus was wrong about the size of the world, but he did discover the Americas. So he's still a pretty important figure in history, even if he didn't prove that the world was round. 3. Marie Antoinette never said, "Let them eat cake." This is another famous myth that's not actually true. Marie Antoinette was the Queen of France during the French Revolution. She was accused of being out of touch with the plight of the poor, and one of the things she was said to have said was, "Let them eat cake." The problem with this quote is that there's no evidence that Marie Antoinette ever said it. The first time the quote was recorded was in 1792, after Marie Antoinette had already been executed. So it's likely that the quote was made up by her enemies. The real Marie Antoinette was a complex figure. She was both intelligent and giving, but she was also seen as being out of touch with the poor. It's unfortunate that she's been remembered for a quote that she never said. 2. The Wild West wasn't that wild. The Wild West is a romanticized period of American history that's often depicted as being full of lawlessness and violence. But the truth is, the Wild West was not as wild as you might think. There was certainly some crime in the Wild West, but was not as widespread as it's often portrayed. In fact, many towns in the Wild West had laws against carrying guns, and they even had police forces. Another myth about the Wild West is that it was full of cowboys. But the truth is, there were not that many cowboys. Most people in the Wild West were farmers or ranchers. So the next time you see a movie or TV show about the Wild West, remember that it's not a very accurate depiction of history. The Wild West was not as wild as you might think, and it was not full of cowboys. 1. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb. Thomas Edison is often credited with inventing the light bulb, but the truth is, he didn't. Edison was a brilliant inventor, and he did improve the light bulb, but he didn't actually invent it. The first light bulb was invented by an English scientist named Humphrey Davy in 1802. Davy's light bulb used a platinum filament, but it was not very practical. Edison eventually developed a light bulb that used a carbonized bamboo filament. This light bulb was much more practical than Davy's light bulb, and it made electric light a reality. So while Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb, he did make it possible for electric light to become a practical reality. These are just a few of the most prominent myths in history. I hope you learned something new today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any other myths you'd like me to debunk, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.